Hello, my dear students. This is Hina Kausar, and welcome back to the class. Let's just recall what we had done in the previous session. So we were discussing about electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged spherical shell, right? So we were applying the Gauss law and trying to determine the electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged spherical shell. For that, I had said that we can easily determine electric field intensity considering the whole derivation into three parts, that is on the surface, outside the shell and inside the shell, right? Then we can easily understand how the electric field intensity will vary according to the distance from this thin spherical shell, right? In the first case, we had discussed the electric field intensity. We had derived the expression for electric field intensity outside the shell, right? So when we derive the expression by calculating the total electric flux and as well as total charge which is enclosed within the Gaussian surface, we found out the expression as E is equals to sigma capital R square divided by epsilon naught into R square, or we can also take the expression as E is equals to Q over 4 pi epsilon naught R square, right? If we observe this equation, we can see that electric field intensity is inversely depending upon the distance square, which means as we increase the distance outside the spherical shell, outside the charged spherical shell, the electric field intensity will go on decreasing, right? So these all things we had discussed in the previous session. Now in today's session, let us try to understand or try to derive an expression for electric field intensity when we consider a Gaussian surface on the surface of the charged spherical shell and inside the charged spherical shell. Okay. So the second case is, let us assume that we are considering the Gaussian surface on the charged, uniformly charged spherical shell. I hope you remember the four simple steps what I had discussed in one of the sessions, right? What are the four simple steps to apply the Gauss law? Very first thing is to consider the Gaussian surface, right? Very first point what we should consider is considering a Gaussian surface. Imagining a Gaussian surface. Be sure that all conditions what has to be satisfied to be called as Gaussian surface, those points are accomplished, and then considering the calculating the total electric flux in the Gauss law. Considering the Gauss law, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ total electric flux na calculate ಮಾಡೋದು. After that, third step is to calculate the total charge which is enclosed within the Gaussian surface, and the last step, fourth step, is to substitute all the values in the Gauss theorem and hence calculating or determining the electric field intensity. We will be following the same four steps in any application, whatever may be the condition they have given. For that condition or for that practical thing, we will apply the same four steps and determine the electric field intensity. Now, in this case, see, in this case what we are doing, we are assuming a point on the surface of the charged spherical shell. Okay, we have imagined the uniformly charged spherical shell which is of radius capital R, and it's a hollow spherical shell, and we are assuming that Q is the amount of charge which is uniformly distributed over the surface. Now in this case, we have to consider a point A on the surface of this charged sphere. On the surface itself, I am imagining a Gaussian surface which is also of spherical shape. Fine. Now what we need to do, first step we assume the Gaussian surface. Second step is to calculate the total electric flux. To calculate the total electric flux, for what we have to do, we should consider a small area on that spherical surface, right? If we calculate the flux of that small area, the electric field which is passing through that small area, on integrating that term, we will get the total electric flux, right? So I am considering, imagining a small area on that spherical surface. Let us assume the direction is given by the ds vector, area vector ds, which is always a normal which is drawn to the surface area. So this is the normal which is drawn to the surface area, which tells the direction of this small area ds. And what about the electric field? Electric field will be always acting in radially outward direction. So in this case, electric field is also acting along the same direction of the area vector. Area vector yav directional ideo ds vector. In the same direction, electric field is also acting. Therefore, the theta between area vector and electric field will become 0 degree, right? So if we write it mathematically, according to the Gauss law, we know total electric flux, that is phi E, is equal to surface integral of vector E dot ds. So total electric flux is always equal to 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge which is enclosed within the Gaussian surface. So this is equals to Q over epsilon naught. In the left hand side, we have the total electric flux. Therefore, calculating the total electric flux, since this vector E and vector ds are lying in the same line or lying in the same direction, therefore, theta will be equal to 0 degree. So therefore, if we consider the magnitude of these, this dot product of the vectors, that is vector E dot vector ds, we can write it as E ds cos theta. Since cos theta is cos 0 degree, so cos 0, we know the value of cos 0 is 1. Therefore, the remaining term we can write it over here, that is closed integral of E ds, which is equals to Q over epsilon naught. Now, integrating this term, we know electric field intensity will be same on the complete surface. Since the charges are uniformly distributed, so E will remain constant, therefore we will remove it out of the integral. The only thing what we have to integrate is this small area ds. If we integrate the small surface area ds on this complete spherical shell, right, then we know that will be equal to 4 pi r square. So when we integrate this surface area, we get 4 pi r square, where r is the radius of this sphere. So this is equals to Q over epsilon naught. So that is the total electric flux. C into 4 pi r square is the total electric flux which is due to this complete sphere, due to this complete charged sphere. Now rewriting this expression, we can write it as E is equals to Q over 4 pi epsilon naught into capital R square, right? So if you take this the term to the right hand side, it goes to the denominator. So equation becomes E is equals to Q over 4 pi epsilon naught into R square. In the third step, what we are supposed to do, we should calculate the total charge which is enclosed within the Gaussian surface, right? So charge over this complete sphere, we know that Q is equals to sigma into 4 pi r square in terms of surface charge density. We can express the total charge as Q is equals to sigma into 4 pi r square. If we substitute this value in the above equation, we can rewrite the expression as E is equals to sigma over epsilon naught, because 4 pi in the numerator and denominator will get cancelled, r square will also get cancelled. So remaining terms are sigma divided by epsilon naught, where sigma is the surface charge density and epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity. So this will be the electric field intensity which will be observed on the surface of the shell, right? If we consider a point on the surface of the charged spherical shell, then this will be the electric field intensity. And if you observe, electric field intensity in this case will be the maximum electric field which can be experienced due to this thin spherical shell. Having a quick review of the complete derivation, what we are supposed to do on the surface of the shell, andre ಒಂದು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಮೇಲೆನೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಗಾಸ್ ಲಾ ನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಗಾಸ್ ಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we have to consider a small area. ಒಂದು small area ನ consider ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆ complete sphere ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ area ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ electric flux ನ calculate ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. Once we calculate the electric flux over that small area, if we integrate it, that will give us the total electric flux. So ಆ small surface area vector ನ draw ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ direction vector ನ draw ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so that will be along the direction of the electric field, right? Because it is the normal which is drawn to the surface area. Therefore, theta angle will be equal to 0 between electric field intensity and the area vector. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ total electric flux phi is equals to closed integral of E dot vector E dot ds ಏನಿದೆ dot product ಏನಿದೆ E ds cos 0 degree ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Cos 0 value we know that is 1. Therefore, integral of E into ds is equals to q over epsilon naught ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ electric field intensity value complete sphere ಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಲ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ನಾವೇನಿದೆ ds ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ds ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾನ ಈ ಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ that will give you the complete area of this spherical shell, right? So complete area of the spherical shell is equals to 4 pi r square. That is nothing but the circumference of the sphere. So E into 4 pi r square is the total electric flux for this complete charged spherical shell. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಈ equation ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ E is equal to 4 pi r square ನ ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ equation ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ E is equals to q over 4 pi epsilon naught r square, capital R square ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, where r will be the radius of the sphere. Okay, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ನ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಇಂಟು 4 pi r square ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು, ರೈಟ್, ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 4 pi r square ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಉಳಿದಿರೋ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಏನಿದೆ E is equals to sigma divided by epsilon naught. That will be the equation for electric field intensity at a point on the surface of the uniformly charged spherical shell. Now, considering the third case, that is at a point inside the shell. Now, I am assuming a point which is inside the uniformly charged spherical shell. For that, again, we will consider the same uniformly charged spherical shell, which is of radius r. Now, I am considering a point B, which is inside the spherical shell. You can see in the diagram, point B is inside the spherical shell. Now, at this point B, what would be the electric field intensity? To determine that, we will be making use of Gauss theorem, right? How do we apply the Gauss theorem? By following the 4 simple steps. 4 simple steps ಅಲ್ಲಿ step 1 ಏನು, considering the Gaussian surface. Let us assume a Gaussian surface which will just pass through this point, right? So I have considered a circular spherical surface as a Gaussian surface which is passing through this point B. Okay. Now let us calculate the electric flux, total electric flux, and as well as total charge which is enclosed within this Gaussian surface, and hence calculate the electric field intensity. For that, let us assume the radius of this inner circle. Okay, ಈ Gaussian surface radius na ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, small r dash. I am assuming it as r dash. Okay. Now let us consider a small area on the circumference of this Gaussian surface. What will be the area vector? Area vector will be a normal which can be drawn to this area. Let us assume that is given by this letter vector ds. Okay. What would be the electric field? Obviously, electric field will be along the normal which is drawn to the area vector. Since it is positively charged, it will be acting in radially outward direction. Fine. So this will be our consideration. Now, considering the Gauss law, in the Gauss law, left hand side is the total electric flux, right? So we need to calculate the total electric flux. If you observe in the diagram, ds and E vectors are in same direction, right? They are acting in the same line. Therefore, theta will be equal to 0. Therefore, if we consider the magnitude or the dot product of this two vectors, EDS cos theta ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Theta 0 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ cos 0 becomes 1. Therefore, we can rewrite it as integral of EDS, right, is equals to Q over epsilon naught. Reason you should know, because theta is equals to 0, cos 0 is 1, right? Now, when we integrate this term, since electric field intensity will be same, it remains constant, we can remove it out of the integral and write it as E into closed integral of ds is equals to Q over epsilon naught. As you know, when we integrate this term ds, the small area term, that will give us 4 pi r dash square. Why? Because the radius of this inner circle we have considered it as r dash, right? Therefore, circumference of this circle, it becomes 4 pi r dash square. So, E into 4 pi r dash square is the total electric flux which can be experienced or linked with this inner Gaussian surface. Now, inner Gaussian surface ಏನು is consider ಮಾಡಿದೀವೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ E into 4 pi r dash square, which is equals to Q over epsilon naught. Now, in the third step, what we are supposed to do, we should calculate the total charge which is enclosed within this Gaussian surface. ಈ Gaussian surface ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು charges enclose ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. But practically when you observe it, that is equal to 0 because the Gaussian surface ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾದರೂ charges present ಇದಾವ? No, it is 0, right? Because the charges are uniformly distributed on the spherical shell, but they are not present inside it because it is a hollow spherical shell, right? So therefore, the charges which is enclosed within this Gaussian surface, that is equals to 0. Therefore, numerator becomes 0 and this whole term goes to the denominator. So, equation becomes E is equals to 0 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into r dash square. Reason is, since Q is equals to 0 inside the Gaussian surface. Therefore, anything divided by 0 is 0. Therefore, electric field intensity which has to be measured inside the charged spherical shell will be equal to 0. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಈ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಫೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? 0 ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So let's just recall the whole derivation one more time. So what we are doing, we are determining the electric field intensity inside the shell. Okay, inside the shell, ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಫೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಿ ನ ಈ ಶೆಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಗಾಸ್ ಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಗಾಸ್ ಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ನ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ನ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಡ್ ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So such that its radius is r dash. Okay, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಗಾಸ್ ಲಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾನ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಆ ಏರಿಯಾ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಏರಿಯಾದು, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬೈ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡ್ರಾನ್ ಟು ದ ಏರಿಯಾ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬೈ ds ವೆಕ್ಟರ್. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಒಂದ್ ಲೈನ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಲೈನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ರೇಡಿಯಲಿ ಇನ್ ಔಟ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾವೇನ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಫೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ರೇಡಿಯಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಔಟ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಏರಿಯಾ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಎರಡು ಔಟ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದೆರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, 0 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಡಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಈ ಟೂ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ EDS ಬಿಕಾಸ್ cos 0 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು 1. therefore EDS into any multiplied by 1 becomes EDS. So we have to integrate only this term. Further integrate ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ electric field ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಸ್ಫಿಯರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಲ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಬರೀ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಟರ್ಮ್ ನ, ಏರಿಯಾ ಟರ್ಮ್ ನ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಏನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ us 4πr-2. note down one point here, that is capital R na consider madida. Capital R is actually the radius of the charged spherical shell, but we have to consider the radius of the Gaussian surface, what we are assuming, right? So radius of Gaussian surface is R dash, therefore here radius becomes R dash square. Okay, ಈ expression na rewrite ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ E is equals to 0 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into R dash square ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್. ನಾವೇನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಗಾಸಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವೋ ಅದ್ರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಹೋಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್, ಥಿನ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, 0 ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So if you recall all the three cases, that is outside the shell, on the surface of the shell and inside the shell, how is the electric field intensity varying? If we plot a graph, how do we plot a graph? By taking the distance along x-axis. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಆನ್ ದ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನ ನಾವು ವೈ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಹೇಗೆ ವೇರಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 0, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಶೆಲ್ electric field is 0, but at one particular point when the distance is equals to r, andre on the surface of the shell, yavaga ee distance, point of reference, that is small r is equals to capital R, avaga enagutte on the surface, as I said earlier, the electric field will be maximum, ಒಂದು maximum value na achieve ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ, that is E maximum, right? After that what happens, ಈ ಆನ್ ದ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಶೆಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಶೆಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ E is proportional to 1/r² outside the spherical shell. Therefore the electric field value will go on decreasing, right? So if we plot a graph, we will get the nature of graph somewhat like this. So easily you can predict the variation of electric field intensity according to the distance by using this graph, right? Inside the shell, electric field intensity is equals to 0. So no values here for electric field intensity. So I have drawn a dotted line over here, right? On the surface of the sphere, when radius distance is equals to capital R, electric field intensity will be maximum. It has attained a maximum value. And outside the shell, as the distance goes on increasing, ಈ distance increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ electric field intensity ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, maximum ಇರೋದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Because electric field intensity outside the spherical shell, it varies as 1/r². Okay, so this is about the electric field intensity. Due to a uniformly charged thin spherical shell. Okay. Apart from these discussions, what I have done relating to line charge, a plane sheet, and as well as a thin spherical shell, there are many more applications you may find if you refer to different textbooks like solid sphere, parallel plates, parallel plane sheets, right? Some reference textbooks, but it is not given in your NCERT syllabus. Therefore, I will confine my discussion only to these three important derivations. So, for your exam point of view, so these are the important derivations for 5 marks. Mm, in in the next session, we will be discussing the numericals related to this chapter. So kindly, before coming to the class, go through all the expressions what we had discussed so far in the chapter. Make a note of it. Complete formulas, complete expressions relating to each and every term, and then we will continue with the next class. Till then,